going back to their home country, you begin to wonder, was this the right decision I made? Fear sets in, anxiety sets in, and now you're wondering, is it a master's degree I should go for, or should I consider something else? So this is a conversation, like I said, we are going to be addressing. Now, before we jump right into the conversation, let me introduce you to Amdari. So Amdari is a platform that is designed to help aspiring tech professionals gain the experience that hiring managers expect of them. So if you've applied to a job recently, one thing is obvious. Hiring managers are no longer satisfied with you coming with your expensive degree. They are no longer satisfied with you having that expensive certification. Now they expect you to have experience. And this is important because when they see your experience, they can trust that you can get the job done. Right? They can trust that you can get the job done. But here's the challenge for you. Experience can only be gotten from a structured system, typically a job. So if the jobs available are not willing to give you an opportunity to gain that experience, what then do you do? Where do you turn to? So this is a major problem that a lot of immigrants are facing, a lot of fresh students are facing, not able to land a job because they lack that experience. And it's a problem that we at Amdari took notice of and decided, you know what, we are going to do something about this. We are going to definitely do something about this. Hence the birth of Amdari. So the way we help you get the experience is through our internship. The internship is a 4-month internship that is done virtually. So wherever you are in the world, you can take full advantage of the internship. And the way it's structured is you select a program of interest amongst the one we have, which include data analysis, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, product design, DevOps, SOC, cloud and app security, GRC, and ethical hacking. So you select a program of interest, and then when you select that program of interest, you decide when you're going to start. And once you're done with that, a coach, an expert in the field, is assigned to your cohort. So the people that you'll be working with, the experts you'll be working with, these are people that have over 5 years of experience in the field. So not only are you going to be working on projects, you are going to be working on, or rather you're going to be benefiting from their wealth of experience. So basically what we are trying to achieve with Amdari is we want to change the way people gain industry experience and really gain knowledge, because we don't want a situation where you are stuck in that loop. You're stuck in that experience loop where you keep going to go and get more certifications because you believe that by getting these certifications, you'll be able to land a role, but you are heartbroken when it feels like everything you're doing, the system is fighting against you. So with Amdari, we help to bridge that experience gap. Of course, for every amazing invention, if I may call Amdari an invention, there are builders behind it. So Amdari has 3 co-founders, the brains behind Amdari, and I would love to introduce them to you. The first we have is Adeza Suleiman. So Adeza Suleiman is a technology expert who has decades of experience working across data analytics and management consulting. In the course of his career, he has founded Analytics and co-founded Amdari. And through the work he does in these companies, he has been able to help over 3,000 people make their transition from a non-technical role into landing their first tech role. Right, he has worked in data science, data analysis, and of course, data analysis, and in sports, in sectors that cut across sports, financial services, edtech, to mention but a few. Currently, he resides with his family in Alberta, Canada. The next co-founder I would love to introduce you to is Efemina Ipro. So I love to say that Efemina Ipro is a data expert, right? Because he has worked across the entire data ecosystem. He has worked as a data analyst, as a business intelligence analyst, as a data scientist, as a data engineer. So he's like the data ecosystem on his own. He has also co-founded Analytics, and of course is the co-founder for Amdari. And of course, through the work that he has done with those companies, he has also been able to help over 3,000 people make their transition from a non-technical background to landing their first tech role and mind you, they had no prior work experience. He also resides in Alberta, Canada. And just to mention that on his own, he has been able to help over 10,000 individuals make their transition from a non-tech background into the tech ecosystem. The last co-founder we have is Omomi. So Omomi is a tech and business executive. She's obviously the co-founder of Amdari, and she has a background in software engineering. So there are so many things I can say about Omomi, but I'm just going to say one thing. Omomi is the strategist, and she is very particular about using tech for good. She's not interested in, okay, let me use tech for the interview's sake. Let's use tech to speak plenty English. If the technology that you're trying to, or the tech you're trying to build is not helping people, counter out. So that is Omomi. Now, of course, at the beginning of the conversation, I asked some of you to introduce yourself. Now, courtesy demands that I too introduce myself. So my name is Christiana, and I am a revenues operations specialist. Over the course of my career, I have been privileged to work on projects that have focused on reskilling the future of work through the work I do with the Global Shapers community. Now, I have worked across sectors that cut across health, education, GRC, media, to mention but a few. Currently with Amdari, I serve as innovations and growth catalyst. And what I do in that fancy role is that I simply help the company drive sustainable growth. And also I'm in charge of the consulting arm of the company, where I speak to people trying to make their transition into tech. What exactly do they need to know? What are they struggling with? And how can we help them? Fun fact, I'm a professional water drinker. I love drinking water, and I already have 4 bottles in front of me. So this is just to say that, please, if you don't have any water around you, if you don't have any liquid around you, please get that, and also get your pen and paper, because we are about to have a rather fun ride. Now, what will we be talking about today? So this session is going to last for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours max. So it's going to be a rather interesting session. And what we'll be talking about today, first things first, we are going to be analyzing the myth. We're going to look at the harsh truths about your master's degree. Is a master's degree enough? Is it enough? It's expensive, but is it enough? Right? We're also going to be seeing the career paths that, sorry, let me drink water. So we're also going to be looking at the career paths that hiring managers are looking to hire people in. So the question now would be, are you taking a course in that? Are you aligned? And if you're not aligned, how can you realign yourself? And then, of course, we are going to be seeing a 5-step framework. I love frameworks, right? A 5-step framework that can help you land a job in today's job market, that can prepare you for that interview that you're going in. And last but not least, we are going to be exploring Amdari's gifts to you, because there's a special gift to you, right? The fact that you showed up for the session on a weekend that you could have decided to spend with your family, you could have decided to spend with friends, you could have even slept in. I love sleeping in during the weekend. So you could have decided to sleep in, but you said, no, you know what? I'm going to join Amdari this evening. So as a way of saying thank you, we have a special gift for you. So please stay till the end so that you can get that gift. Now, just to mention, right, in the course of this presentation, I am going to be sharing resources, and these resources will be attached to my slide. So if you want to have a copy of my slide and also access to the recording for this evening, please, a colleague of mine would be occasionally sharing links to an attendance form. Please do well to fill that attendance form, right? So if you want to have access to my slide and the resources that we are going to be sharing this evening, please and please do well to fill the attendance form. Thank you so much. So, drum rolls, let's start. Now, I love an interactive session. I love interactive sessions. I'm not seeing your face, you're seeing my face. I'm not saying you to put on your camera, but I would really love you to engage me. Sorry, whose mic is turned on? Hi, Jennifer, please could you mute everybody? Thank you. So yes, now using the chat box, I want us to answer a very honest question. If you are currently doing a master's, you completed a master's, or you're planning on enrolling to a master's, why exactly do you want that master's degree? That's if you are enrolling. If you're currently doing the master's degree, why are you currently doing that master's degree? And if you have completed a master's degree, why did you do that master's degree? I want to see responses in the chat box. Let me see, I'm checking. Okay, this is, so please indulge me. Why do you want that master's degree? I don't need a long summary. 1 word is fine. why do you want that master's degree, or why did you enroll in that master's degree? Because you and I know that a master's degree is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. I love to say that the cost of getting a master's degree can most certainly get you a house in your home country. So Imisio Lua, I'm not sure I got your name correctly, forgive me, but you said for career progression, amazing. Okay, I know that we have over 85 people on this call, so I would really love to get responses. So Ando says, to establish myself as a global supply chain management business. Okay, I joined actually to get international exposure, amazing. For professionalism, amazing. And also for networking, amazing. Okay, I want to get more responses. Let's get on that level playing ground. Why are you enrolled in that master's degree? I've only gotten 4 responses so far, and I have 80 something people on the call. Okay, Ajibola says, to reinvent myself in a new field, amazing. To gain in-depth knowledge in my chosen career, employability, FOSA, obviously. Okay, more money. Klitos, I love that. More money, very important. Very, very important. Money makes life beautiful. So I love the fact that you're being honest with yourself this evening. Amazing. So whilst the answers are coming in, let me tell you a very, Jeffrey says to Japa, whilst the answers are coming in, let me just tell you a very quick story. So last year, my friend completed a program in Nigeria, and she decided, you know what, I want to relocate abroad, because if I stay here, according to her, the conversations we were having was, if I stay here, my destiny will go down the drain. Those were her exact words. Now, here's the challenge with this, my friend. She doesn't come from a very rich home. So this her decision to make to travel abroad meant that she has to look for the money. She has to do everything. So the burden was upon her. But of course, she was optimistic. And I myself, I was also optimistic, because why not? So she started doing her research. And as she did her research, she went online, went on LinkedIn, looked for people who she heard or who she saw their stories had relocated from their home countries to the UK. And she decided, okay, I'm going to use the school route because it seems to be the cheapest. But as she was doing her research, she realized how expensive it was. And she was so scared. She called me that evening and she was like, babes, this thing is not cheap. Oh. And the people that I keep having a conversation with, when you speak to them, they will speak for such a long time. But when you probe deeper, you realize that their family actually is supporting them. I don't know what to do, right? So at the end of the day, when we had that conversation, we realized that it's not cheap. And for you to really forge ahead, you need support financially, mentally, and otherwise. And I know that this very interesting story that I just narrated is not a story that's unique to one person. Many people on this call this evening that have been enrolled for a master's program, the fact that you're in that classroom today is because sacrifices have been made. Sacrifices have been made by you. Sacrifices have been made by your family. Sacrifices have been made, maybe taking a loan just to ensure that you get that degree, because you want a situation where you have that greener pastures. You believe that the return on investment is greater than the sacrifice that has been made. So if you have put in all this effort, what exactly is going on? Now, I would love us to briefly hear from Okwemi. For Okwemi, she relocated to the UK with the school route. And she was so dedicated. She was extremely dedicated. She went on a 1-year career leave so that she could focus and get a distinction. She believed that if she finished with a distinction, she would be well positioned in the job market. But that was not the case for Kwemi. And let's briefly hear her story.
Congratulations on securing a data analyst role in the UK. We are more than happy that you're sharing this news with us. Congratulations are in order.
Yes.
All right, so I would like to know, right, because I mean, it's a very, very, very familiar problem. Before transitioning into tech or while transitioning into tech, getting a job is always a struggle. So what would you say your biggest challenge was in the job search phase, especially as someone trying to get a first job in tech? What was your biggest challenge as a job seeker?
Thank you for the question, Amoni. Actually, I didn't transition into tech. I've been in tech. I have my BSc in computer science. And then I came to the UK for my master's in data science and analytics. You know, I graduated with distinction, and you will think like, okay, after graduation, you will get the job. Yeah, done upon application,
Yeah.
and then you won't even get any reply, no response at all. I think they call it ghosted. They actually ghosted you that sort of things. And then you
Cricket.
just want to, even after
Yeah.
spending a lot of masters, you are just trying to keep on upskilling yourself, because in the tech space, if you close your eyes, by the time you open it, the world is far ahead of you. So you have to keep on upgrading yourself, being on the top of your game. Yeah, so like I told a friend of mine few weeks ago that one of the best decisions I made this year is Amdari. And
Okay, that is Okwemi's story. And like I said, her story is not unique. It's something that many people, even on this call, have experienced. Now, I'm going to confirm this by playing the video from Laju. This is Laju, and this was his experience after a master's.
Joining us, and congratulations on bagging a role as a data scientist. All right. So it's great to have you here, and thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. So we'll go straight into the conversation. I wouldn't waste too much of your time. So I'd like to know what the challenge was that you faced before, starting or jumping on the internship program at Amdari. So what was the biggest challenge you faced as a job seeker trying to get a job in tech? Right. So yeah.
Right. So okay, I'm gonna list a couple of them. I'll start with lack of experience mostly. I would say this is like the biggest factor I had. Because like many of what's opportunities in tech jobs, they require like you to have prior work experience, like working in the industry. And me as a student, 'cause I just finished my master's degree, like literally a few weeks back, and I'm supposed to do an internship now. So like of course I've not really had strong experience working in the industry as someone that just finished school. So trying to get an internship was very difficult because most of them are looking for what's your past experience, what have you done in the past, that kind of thing. And I didn't really have that. So that was a bit difficult for me. And I also say maybe like the technical interview pressure. While you're doing all this interview, the process can be a bit intense. Sometimes they have the strong coding challenges, maybe some have mathematical problems they have to solve, some even maybe technical case studies. I think that these questions can catch you off guard. You can prepare as much as you like sometimes, but sometimes some of them can surprise you and you never know how to challenge it. And that would probably be like maybe networking barriers. I wouldn't really say I have a lot of strong networking background or people that would maybe have given me hidden opportunities or plenty referrals. I can't really have that. And also the last one I'll give like the technical field as a whole is very challenging. There's a lot of competition. So I'd say it's difficult to stand out amidst all this competition. So that's the issue I face in trying to get an internship mostly.
Okay, that is Laju's story, right? So one thing is obvious from both Laju and Okwemi, having a master's degree was not enough. And let me establish this from the get-go. I'm not trying to say that having a master's degree is useless. Please, that is not what we are trying to say. What I'm trying to establish on this call tonight is that having a master's degree is the first step to getting what you want. I asked a question at the beginning of the session: why are you taking that master's degree, or why are you currently enrolled in that master's degree? And I saw some of your responses. So you've made a good decision, but that is the starting point. Now, where do you go from here? Many people say, oh, I have a master's degree, but why am I getting rejected? Most times when we pack our bags and we've gotten our visas from our home country, we are quite excited about, oh, a master's degree. For people who love making vlogs, make the vlogs. Pack with me as I prepare to spend my last night in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Zimbabwe or in Pakistan. You've made that vlog. You're so excited. And why are you excited? You're excited because you believe that with that master's degree, if you do really well, you get an automatic job that will come with a visa sponsorship. So after your master's degree, you don't need to pack your bag and come back home. But here's the harsh reality. A master's degree just gives you access to the UK job market. It grants you access to the UK, right? But it does not guarantee you a job. In fact, the way I put it here is it does not give you the right to be hired. Simply because you spent thousands in getting that master's degree does not mean that you'd automatically get a job. Do people get jobs? Yes. but it's not the automatic progression, right? Now, if you even look at this critically, and this is me now, I'm coming back to ask questions, and I would really love you people to indulge me. Who do you think benefits from you acquiring that master's degree? And I'm talking about on the grand scale of things, follow the money. Who do you believe benefits from you getting that master's degree? If you think it's yourself, that is fine. If you think somebody else, that is fine. But just indulge me a bit in the chat box. I'm looking at the chat box. Please, I'm going to give you an award. I'm going to give you an award because this your response. Jeffrey too, amazing. Okay, who else? Who else? Who do you think benefits the most from that degree you're getting? Jeffrey and Cletus, it feels like me and you prepared this slides today. Matthew too, okay. So I love the responses I'm getting. Farouk. In fact, let me start clapping for you people. Let me start clapping for you people. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Yes and yes. The UK government benefits the most. The universities benefits the most. And let me explain. Foreign educational exports is one of the highest. Who is this? He said King Charles, my God. So the UK government, or rather foreign exports or for your foreign degree is giving the UK government 41.9 billion pounds. That's of this year, the research that I saw online. I've also attached that research here. The UK government generates 41.9 billion pounds from foreign people or immigrants getting their degrees in the UK. So you are helping to drive the economy one way or the other. And this is important because there's something somebody said here that I really enjoyed, which is the funding gap. In the UK, for the domestic students, the Britons, the Brits, however they call themselves, the educational school fees is capped at about 9,250 to 9,500 pounds. So with this, and looking at the inflation that is currently going on, what that means is that for every student that the university trains, they are losing money. For every student that they train, they are losing money. So the only way that they can recover that money back is through the foreign students. So when you now look at it, you realize that your school fees is about 3 times, 4 times more than the typical citizen. So at the end of the day, they need you to come in. They actually need you to come in because you're helping to drive the economy. It's like natural resource. They need you in. Each time they need people coming in, right? So like we've established, the UK government is the greatest beneficiary. The universities are the greatest beneficiaries. In fact, the universities depend a lot on foreign students coming in because you're giving them that liquid cash to keep it running. The research and development that they do in the UK is from that reserve. 41 billion pounds is not a small thing. A research I saw that was done in 2023 rather, it was about 90 something pounds, if I'm not mistaken. I also attached that research here, right? So they are making money from it. So it's a win-win situation for you. They make money, and then you come in, you get your degree. But now this is where the challenge comes in. Now, mind you, if you want to have access to this slide, this is just me saying it. If you want to have access to this slides, please and please fill the attendance form that my colleague Amdari Growth is sharing in the chat box. Now, the system is designed for a high turnover. Each year, they need people to come in, actually. They need people to come in. That's your expensive school fees. It's not a mistake. They need you to come in. They need you to come in to pay because when money drives the economy, they need you to study and then they need you to leave. Why? Because they cannot accommodate everybody coming into their country. People are coming every day. People are entering. At some point, the place will be saturated. So they need the system to work. And for it to work really, really well, they need you to, after your study, you leave. And that's why the laws are changing every now and then. And you're like, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm sorry. It was a win-win situation. They have done their parts. Now it's either you get a job or you leave, because at this point in time, you're not creating value for the UK government again. The money that you've paid, you've gotten what you wanted, right? So what else are you doing? So it's only when you land a job that you're able to now create value again for the UK government. Now, what this means is that if you want to remain in the system, if you want to remain in this country, then it is important that you change the script, because this is the script many people are running by. You just think that, okay, by finishing with a distinction, you will stand out in the market. Guess what? You also have local competition. Brits are also going to school. So what makes you special, right? Yes, you're special. I don't mean to be harsh, but really, what makes you special? So this is something that you need to critically look at. You need to critically think, right? Because the truth is that this is your reality. To the UK government, your revenue. That's the honest truth. Your revenue. That is what you are to the UK government. But now to the hiring manager, you are a cost. And let me explain this briefly. So when you look at everything, I really love the fact that no one in the comment section even mentioned, oh, hiring managers. I really love the fact that nobody mentioned that, because the way the system is structured, for every time a company hires an immigrant, they pay a fine. They pay a fine of about £1,350. They pay a fine. They pay a fine. Okay. Jennifer, please check out Clito's comment. They pay a fine, right? Because are you telling us that you were not able to find local talent in this entire Britain, that you're now hiring local talent? So they pay a fine. If that is not enough, after paying that fine, they still need to pay for licensing, legal fee, administrative stress. By the time you put all the money they are putting together just to bring you on board, it's more than £10,000. So if they must bring you on board, if they must go through the stress of bringing in international talent into their company, it simply means that you must be worth that fine. You must yield a return on investment from day one, right? You have to, because for them to go through that stress, it means one of two things. The first is they have checked the length and breadth of Britain and they can't find anybody that can fill that role, any local that can fill that role. That is the first thing it means, scarcity. The second thing it means is that maybe they've had bad experiences with the people they've been bringing on board. And one thing about sponsoring talent is that when you sponsor anybody, that person is tied to that role. If they are to resign, then they will have to lose that sponsorship. In 60 days, you better find who else will sponsor you, or you pack your bag and you leave. Finish. But if you look at the local talent, if you stress them, if they don't like how you're behaving, they will resign as quickly as possible, go across the streets and get a new job. Easy as ABC. So businesses cannot run like that. So if they see that, okay, we don't want to have this issue, what they do is they can also consider international talent. So this is why when they look at that foreign talent, you look like a cost. But gradually, if you're able to show them that, see, I can bring value to the table, it eases their attention, and they see that £10,000 that they are paying as an investment, not a cost. So what I have here is quite simple. Your degree is not a golden ticket. Your degree, your degree shows hiring managers that, okay, you have potential. That's what it shows them. You have potential. It shows them that you are disciplined enough to start what you finish what you start. It shows them that you can read, you can write, and really you can work in a system. But it does not show them that you can solve real business problems. It doesn't show them that you can solve real business problems. And that is a challenge, right? Why is this important? Your degree, yes, it gives you permission to get into the room being the UK. It gives you that permission. However, your strategy must change. You can't use the same strategy that people have been using. You can't. You have to look at the context of where you are today and change that strategy. It is your strategy that determines whether you leave the room or you lead the room, right? Now, one of the major strategies that you need to even consider is you're in the UK, quite all right. What career path are you pursuing? What career path are you pursuing? The career path that you're pursuing, is it something that is even in demand, or you're just there taking a degree for the sake of taking a degree? Because here's the thing, there are so many funny courses out there. Funny courses. If you have the money and you want to study a funny course, don't worry, go to the UK, you study them very well, right? But those courses are also not cheap. So if you must spend thousands of pounds acquiring a degree, you need to make sure that there is that hope, that demand for it in the market. Now, how do you get to know the careers that guarantee you a job as quickly as possible? So for us at Amdari, what we did is, or what we do every year is, we do a job analysis, looking at the major job boards, looking at reports, and also doing our own personal analysis with our in-house business intelligence analysts. And when we do that, we now cross-check what we have and what we have seen. And one of the major documents that we use to confirm our research is the Future of Job reports from the World Economic Forum. So the World Economic Forum is a forum that is made up of top leaders, the who is who in the business world, movers and shakers, industry leaders, world leaders. And every year they meet in Geneva, Switzerland, to discuss where are we right now, what is going on, what roles are in demand, what roles are going out of style. And they have this report once every 2 years. So the last one was in 2025. The next one should be in 2027. So with this report now, we go through the report and we find out, okay, what career paths are in demand, in alignment, because these people that meet in Geneva, they don't just go there for the sake of drinking water and discussing. They go there with their reports. And based on the reports that they have, they now decide, okay, this is what we should do. Now, this is their report. And according to the World Economic Forum, these are the jobs that have the capacity of, or that will be in demand as the years go by from now till 2030. So you're seeing data engineering there, you're seeing data analytics, you're seeing cybersecurity, you're seeing DevOps, you're seeing product design, you're seeing business analysis. Now, these career paths that I'm mentioning are also career paths that we offer at Amdari in our internship. So you get to see that we did not just randomly pick things for the sake of, oh, this is what people want to do. So because it's what people want to do, this is what we can make money from. No, we were very intentional about the career paths that we selected, because we know that not only is it in demand, at least as years go by, it will also have value. We still have more of them. We have data analytics, we have data engineering, we have DevOps, and then we have GRC, right? So these are the tech careers that you should be exploring. This is a document that you should sit down and go through, find out if the master's program that you're currently running, if your course is here, and if it's not here, you need to re-strategize, you need to realign. Remember, your master's degree gave you access to the room, but your strategy is what will determine whether you leave or you lead that room, right? Now, sorry, why exactly do hiring managers say no? I've established earlier that they see you as a cost. But beyond seeing you as a cost, one thing you need to understand is that the universities are selling education, but what companies buy is solution. Companies want to know that you're able to create value for them. Companies want to know that you have that cultural education, that they don't need to hold your hands. They want to know that when they bring you on board, you'd make money for them. So when they look at you, they see the risk factor, they see the paperwork, they see the administrative stress, they see the money they are going to spend, and they ask themselves one question: will this person add value to my company? How quickly will they add value to the company? How much supervision do they need? If I'm going to pay £10,000 for you, I cannot wait for 1 year before I start reaping the fruits of my money. I wanted to say the fruits of my labor, but I can't wait till 1 year before I start reaping the fruits of my money. I can't wait for such a long period before you adjust yourself. So here's the thing: you have to come ready. You have to come ready to create value. So if you are not ready to create value, they will tell you no. It's not your name, it's not your skin tone, it's not your gender. Yes, these biases exist, but trust me, many times these are not the reasons why you are not given the opportunity you want. Many times it's because the way you have positioned yourself in that interview makes you look more like a cost and less like an investment, less like a value addition to the team. Now, I would love us to hear briefly, or rather, before we hear from Darlington, one thing that you need to understand is that the first thing that you need to put in order when you're looking for a job is proof that you can generate value for that company. Because as I've said over and over and over and over again, it is not cheap. Bringing you in is not cheap. It's not an emotional gain. They have to make sure that the money that they are spending on you is an investment that will yield dividends, right? Now, I would love us to hear briefly from Darlington. For Darlington, he was one of our consultants here at Amdari, and during his interview, he did something profound, and I would love you to hear directly from him. So I'm going to play his video now. So if you can't hear the audio, please let me know, because sometimes Google Meet can be very funny. So here is Darlington.
Enough, I had never heard of, I had never done anything on business analysis till I got to Amdari. And while I was there in the interview room, I was asked about things like mapping and how you scope the whole process. Just give us a rundown of what you would do if you were to start the show. I just used everything I learned at Amdari. I spoke about the process, the to-be processes, the project charter, basically the terminology and the knowledge of what I learned very played a part in that interview. I seemed to be the person that gave them a clear idea of what they are going to achieve in a 1 year period, because they didn't know how to go about it. So they needed someone who was close to what they were looking for. And my knowledge from what I'd learned played a huge part in that interview, to be honest.
Okay, so please, with a thumbs up, let me know if you heard it. So give me a thumbs up if you heard what Darlington said there, because I want to build on something he said. Amazing, thank you. Now, if you listen to him closely, he said something. He said that during the interview, he was able to tell the hiring managers that, see, this is what we are going to accomplish in 1 year, because they did not seem to know. Are they the ones that put out the job description? Yes, they put out the job description. But guess what? They did not understand the technicality involved in the role. But because Darlington was an expert, he had experience, and he understood what it took based on where they are. What did he do? He told them, see, this is what we can accomplish in 1 year. So when you step into the room like that, what you tell hiring managers is, see, I'm going to add value to your team. Are you spending 10,000 on me? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. But guess what? That is not a cost. That is an investment, because the money I will create for you is going to yield more than what you have spent on me. Now, I still want us to listen to Darlington, because he still said something profound in his conversation. So let me just get to what he said. Okay, so this is what he said.
Skills. Most persons don't focus on how can I solve this problem. So you go into an interview and you're talking about all the skills you know. They're talking about how to code, how to analyze, data science, data analysis, different programming language. But then of them are looking for basically for how to solve a problem. If you can help them solve their problem, you might know how to use Power BI, but they are just looking for who can use Excel, right? So I think people should focus on solving more problems before they now understand the skill they need to solve that problem. I was in a conversation today with some of my seniors in the office, and they also were conducting interviews for other people. They were looking for a computer science role, like an IT role. And he wasn't looking for someone that knew all the skills. He was looking for someone that knew how to solve problems that they would train, and the person would learn the job. So all he was looking for was problem solving. So if I'm to advise anyone now is understand your field, know how to solve problems in your space, and start your journey on becoming a consultant from there.
All right. Okay. Now, we've heard this part, problem solving. Companies are ready to invest anything in you if you can show them that, see, I can solve your problem. Now, I also want us to hear briefly from Okweyemi. So this is what Okweyemi did during his interview that helped him land a job, and how he showed himself as a problem solver. So let's hear briefly from Okweyemi.
Helped you ace your interview?
I think number one, to take a perfect timing. So we're working on clustering project in data science class, and as if God was making everything work in my favor again. During the interview, they asked me a question about how do I handle customer action. And we're just working on a project about customer sticking to whether they will use a drop to the end or they will drop out in between. So I just so I emulated the same pattern the way we did it in class, and I started pitching it to them, talking about silhouette, elbow, then using KNN to address. So what is exactly what we're working on to address that issue? The head of department for the time was like, I love that answer. And I think another thing that stood out for me was my mentor, Mohammed. The intro which he gave me and the last line of my pitch. So he gave me an idea of I shouldn't present based on what I'm saying. I should present like someone that has a solution. So I'm not just giving them what they are now. Make it sound as if I've seen all your troubles and now this is a solution. So he gave me a pitch like I've seen that we are making 1.5 million pounds per year. So the plan is to move it from 1.5 to 2.5 million within the course of next 18 months. And it makes it sound like a roadmap. So you're not saying what you're saying because few years, right? So there's a roadmap. So he gave me a picture. We have a 3-month plan, 6-month plan, and 1-year plan, and also keep tracking to see if we need to make adjustments. So as I was saying all that, it was resonating with their brain. And at the end of my pitch, he gave me also a closing line pitch. Based on all these insights, we can't just keep leaving money on the table. And now the next is for us to start deploying this. And how do we go about it? So when do we start? So it made it sound as if I've done everything. All I just need to start deploying all this. So, and the HR, the head of the was like, I love the way he started and I love the way he ended the presentation. So I'm not because I never saw presentation in that manner. But those two lines, my opening pitch and my last pitch I gave me, really stood out for me. I think it just helped me nail the new sequence.
Okay, now let me confirm. Did you hear Opemi? Give me a thumbs up if you heard Opemi too. This is amazing. So you can see that value. They didn't go into that interview with, oh, so I have this master's degree. I finished with a distinction and I did really, really well. I have taken this certification and I would love for you to give me an offer. No, they did not do that. They went into that interview and they said, see, this is what I can do for you. You know, many times people can be funny. You think that, oh, the reason why you were not even answered is because you don't have the accent. Yeah, it's nice to have the accent, right? It shows that you are cultured, but what's most important is having the experience and being able to solve their problem. Now, the last person I would love us to hear is also Pedro. Now, why am I making you watch all these things? I'm trying to establish one fact. You need to position yourself as a problem solver. I'm using this to emphasize that fact. So let's hear from Pedro.
For doing this with us. And congratulations on landing the cybersecurity role. Is it SOC or what's the job title?
It's OT security specialist, but more of OT security. So it's cybersecurity, but in operations technology.
Amazing. And it came with visa sponsorship, correct?
Yes. Role.
Yeah. Let me blow some confetti, imaginary confetti. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
All right. So I would like to know how your experience, right, the work experience at Amdari helped you go from being a job seeker to becoming job ready, right? From the mentorship to the project. How did the work experience help you go from being a job seeker to being job ready?
Okay, so for starters, in my IT career, I've been more of a lone wolf. I like to study on my own, do my certifications, but moving to the UK, I realized that I had to change. I knew I needed some form of mentorship, and that's how I stumbled into Amdari. And yes, the program helped. It provided some guided mentorship that helped me determine the road that was suitable for me and how to navigate to the next chapter. I was already in employment, but I knew I needed to pivot. And yes, the Amdari experience was very important, and it contributed to me landing this new role.
Okay, so once again, I'm going to ask, if you heard everything he said, give me a thumbs up. I want to be sure. Thank you, Chibudike. I love how you're the first person to always give me a thumbs up. Okay, let me give you back my own thumbs up, Chibudike. So yes, so that is Pedro, that is Darlington, that is Okweyemi. These people were able to land their roles because they could show that they were problem solvers. These men, if you listen to them, they don't have any accent, right? And why am I emphasizing on accent? I bet you, I promise you, I've seen somebody that said, Oh, I think it's because of my accent. And they were now trying to kill their native accent to sound like a British person, and they sounded completely ridiculous, for the lack of a better word. I was just laughing, but I had to keep a straight face so that they don't think I'm not supportive. But the truth is that the reason why you're not given an opportunity is because you are not looking like a problem solver. Now, that's enough of the problem, yeah? We have established that, okay, the UK government is the one catching out from you getting that degree. We've established that, okay, the master's degree is still not enough. You still need to do more. But then again, how exactly can you position yourself in the job market to get what you want? Now, I have what I have called the 5-point de-risking framework. If you show up like this for an interview and you do everything you need to do, these are the things that will help position you not only as a problem solver, but as an investment in the company. So what are these things? First things first, you need to understand the local market context. So from here, what I have is understanding UK business etiquette, industry trends, and the local competitive landscape. Let me explain what I mean by this. Laws are happening every now and then. They are passing laws every now and then. And if the only law that you concern yourself with is the one that affects you as an immigrant, then you're playing the game wrong. Very wrong. If you're interested in working with any business, please and please sit down. Try and understand what laws have been passed recently, or what laws are related to the business that I'm about to get myself into, or that I want to get into. And how does it affect their revenue? How does it affect their bottom line? You need to understand it on a strategic level, because when you step into that interview room and you say that, okay, so I saw that this law and this law and this law are currently affecting our bottom line, and then our competitors are having this opportunity, and then we are this and we are that. When you speak from that angle, what that shows them is that this person cares. What that shows them is that you're not just a professional who is coming here to do your job and get paid. You're someone who is coming with value. You're someone who is coming to solve their problem. So many times you say that you're a problem solver, you don't necessarily need to say it verbally. You demonstrate it by how you have exposed yourself. So you need to understand the competitive landscape. And when you speak, they know that, yes, every decision that you would make for the company when they bring you in is not coming from a place of, oh, this is what I read in a book. It's coming from a place of, okay, this is what I saw, and this is what I anticipate will happen based on my experience as a professional. The next thing that you need to have is verifiable technical expertise. You must have done this before. You must have experience. Experience shows hiring managers that you have done it in the past, and you can do it again. That is what it shows hiring managers. When you go and cut your hair, let's say you move to a new city and you want to cut your hair, or you want to make your hair, at the end of the day, you've never worked with this person before. So what you are now depending on is their past work experience. If they have an Instagram account, you check them out on Instagram to find out what have they done in the past. And what they have done in the past, is it pleasing enough for me to sit down and allow them to touch my hair? If you're not pleased with what they have done, I'm sure you will not go with them, because experience or past experience shows whoever is dealing with you that you can be trusted. I've never worked with you before, but going by what I see, I can trust you with this thing I want to give you. So you need to have that experience. You need to have projects under your belt that you can make reference to, so that when they ask you, tell me about a time you did this, you have something to say. Another thing that you also need to understand is soft skill. Soft skill is very important. Now, I have been privileged to work in an American organization. I've been privileged to work in a British organization, a Canadian organization, and a Nigerian organization over the course of my career. And one thing I'll tell you for free is the work culture across these organizations are different. In one organization, if you send somebody a text message, or rather a message and email by 12 a.m., you're seen as very diligent. You're seen as hardworking. In fact, if they don't see you doing that, there's a problem. But in an American setting, right, if you send anybody an email 1 minute after the close of work, you and HR will have a conversation, because why are you doing that? The culture is different. So you need to understand that culture. It takes soft skill. It takes soft skill to re-educate yourself with that cultural awareness, right? It takes soft skill. Also, the way you present yourself. Now, I'm a Nigerian, and one thing about Nigerians is that we are dramatic. I would say that we are very, very expressive people, right? So the way I might be speaking to you might be like, oh, why is she speaking like that? And you don't understand that where I come from is normal, right? But for the British, they're more calm, more subtle, more Englishy. So when you go for that interview and then you now go, okay, tell me about your time, and you're like, yeah, so there was a time that I did this, and when I did it, it was like this, and this happened. Okay, they're just listening to you. In your mind, you're actually giving them value, but what you're doing to them, you're traumatizing them with your theatrics, right? So it's important for you to know the attributes, the habits, the lifestyle that is accepted in the place that you find yourself, and is accepted in the place that you find yourself, and the attributes that you should leave behind. So it takes soft skill to make that differentiation. Now, you also need proof of value. It's one thing to say that, oh, I can do this. It's one thing to claim that you can do a thing, but it's another thing to show that you can do it. And how do you show? Through a portfolio. So you have a portfolio that they can see, a portfolio that is well structured, that hiring managers can click on and look at your past work experience. Your portfolio will serve as an Instagram profile where people can check you out. So do you have your work, arranged in a nice manner in your portfolio? One beautiful thing about having a portfolio is that beyond showing the hiring manager your past work experience, it also tells them that you're organized. It also tells them that you pay attention to detail. So these little things are what you need to really put yourself out there. Your degree tells them that you can pass an exam. Your portfolio shows them that you create value, and you've not created it just once, you've done it repeatedly. So do you have that portfolio? The last but not the least is you need to be sponsorship ready. You need that mindset. Now, one thing you need to understand is that many HRs are scared of going to the home office. They don't want to have to deal with the administrative stress associated with bringing you on board. They don't want to have to deal with that stress, to be very honest. If they have their way, they'll just look for maybe a local talent and put them in that position, because that back and forth is not what they want to deal with, right? But you now, as a candidate who knows what you want, the onus now falls on you to sit down and digest the law and find out how you as a candidate can be brought into the organization safely without putting a lot of stress on them. For instance, now you can tell them, that, okay, because I'm currently in the UK, you don't need to pay the immigration, the immigration skill charge. And that's because I'm here. So that is saving them money. You can tell them that see, I'm on a student visa. So for 2 years, I can actually work, and then you can test me out. And after then, we can now proceed to the next level. So what you're doing by negotiating with them on this level is you're showing them how there are loopholes. Before they make that investment, there are loopholes that they could explore. And the beautiful thing is that when they bring you on board, and you go there and you create value for the company, you save money for the company, it's a non-negotiable. They will look for the money to make sure that they keep you in that role. So when you are approaching the interview, make sure that you've done your due diligence. The local market context, you must have experience, you must understand the soft skill, you must have proof, that is your portfolio, and most importantly, you must go there with a sponsor-ready mindset, ready to negotiate, and not negotiate in the sense that you're going there with that beggarly mindset. Oh, please, I promise I can do this for you. No, you're going there with the mindset of, see, I know this is what is going on, but guess what? This is an option that we can explore. So you go there as a negotiator, right? Now, the one thing I'll tell you is that the UK market is unkind, very unkind to the unprepared. It does not matter if you finished with a distinction. It does not matter how much you spent on that certification. If you are unprepared, I am sorry, you are going to suffer severely. And I'm not trying to be scary. I'm just being honest. So you need to be visible, right? You need to be visible. You need to have strategy. You have to sit down and you have to strategize like a military professional. You have to be very, very serious, because your strategy is your leverage. Your visibility is what gets you noticed, but your strategy is your leverage. Now, you might have heard everything I said and you're wondering, okay, so where am I now? If you were on the call when I mentioned this, the career path that gets people hired because it's in demand and you're taking it, great. So where are you? Or are you going to have to go back to re-educate yourself, or you're now at that level where you need an internship? Where exactly are you? So Amdari's first gift to you this evening is this assessment. So we have put together an assessment that can help you answer the question of where am I? So here is the link to the assessment. Let me share the link to the assessment. Or rather, let me just show you the assessment. If you want the assessment, if you want to gain access to the assessment, just fill the attendance form and my slide will be shared with you. The link is there. So this is what this assessment looks like. I won't go through the entire assessment, but it's a very simple assessment that you can go through. And once you're done going through it, if you still want to have a conversation with a career expert or a career coach, Amdari still gives that service for free. So if you would want to, I don't know why it's taking time to load. Okay, let me see. If you would want to gain access to, okay, I can't understand why it's taking time to load, but yeah, let's just get back here. If you'd want to gain access to the link to this assessment, please and please fill the attendance form that my colleague is sharing in the chat box. So yes, how can Amdari help you? We've spoken for over an hour about the problem, about how your master's degree is no longer enough. So how can Amdari help you? Quite simple. We have created an internship that will give you the experience, the exposure, and the confidence to help you thrive in the job market. Now, let me just establish something that I didn't say earlier. So as a master's student, it's not that maybe because you're a foreign student, your master's counts against you only. Even the local talent, without experience, there's a problem, right? But the only thing they have against you is that because they don't need sponsorship, they can stay in the system longer than you can stay until they're able to crack the code, right? So for you who does not have the luxury of time, you need to be strategic. And this is the strategy that Amdari presents to you. So first things first, you need 3 things to land a job in today's job market. That's the first strategy you need to outline. Skill, you need to learn. So skill, you need to learn a skill. You need to package yourself employability-wise, and then you need to apply strategically so you can get a job. Quite straightforward, right? Now, what do we do at Amdari? We are your one-stop shop platform where you're able to learn your skill or to hone your skill. It's honing, I'll rather call it, through our internship program. And like I mentioned earlier, we offer internship programs across data analytics, data science, business analysis, data engineering, DevOps, product design, project management, SOC, ethical hacking, GRC, cloud, and app security. Now, when you are taking your internship in these fields, we also offer you employability services. So with these employability services, you have your CV reviewed, you have your LinkedIn optimized, you have that mentorship session, you get the coaching, you get that interview preparation, you get on the job support. So all these things help you stand out in the job market. All these things help you stand out in the job market. And then we also have a platform where you can apply to jobs on. Now, the beautiful thing about this platform is that now we have even gone into partnership with CV Matchly, which is an AI tool that helps you to tailor your CVs in real time to the jobs that you are applying to. So with CV Matchly, it's as easy as ABC. And don't worry, I'm going to show you a live demonstration of CV Matchly and show you how you too can gain access to it for free. So like I said, kindly stay till the end of the call and you gain access to that. Now let's speak about the internship first. The way the internship is structured is it's a 4-month internship, and you get to work on projects, real life projects for our project partners. So the project partners that some of them, I've put them here. They are Asset Guard, EcoNest, Credify, FlowPay, Golden Haven. And all these people, you get to work on projects from them. Now, like I mentioned, it's a 4-month internship. And when you're on the internship, your first 2 months on the internship, you work with your core team. So what do I mean by your core team? Your core team are people in the same program as you. Your core team include people in the same cohort as you. So you're going to work with your core team, and based on the projects that you work on, the whole idea is that you need to get that foundational knowledge required for you to be able to really do well in the field that you are interested in. Now, in your 3rd and 4th month, what now happens is that you have the opportunity to work with a cross-functional team. What do I mean by a cross-functional team? A cross-functional team simply means that your teammates at this point in time will be people from a different program from you. So if a project requires a maybe project manager, a data analyst, a data scientist, a cybersecurity professional, your teammates will be these people, no more, no less. These are the people that you'll be working with. So that's what happens in your 3rd and 4th month. And the reason why this is important is because we need you to get that cross-functional feel. We need to get that education. We need you to get that cultural education that is required for you to really thrive in the UK market. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, okay, flexibility-wise, how flexible is it? I'm currently in school, I'm juggling 2 jobs, maybe I'm a parent. What exactly can I do? So for Amdari, flexibility is at the center of all we do. It's at the center of all we do. And that's why the time and the day that you meet with your team is not even forced on you, right? It's decided with the collective. So the first session you ever have with Amdari is what we call the onboarding session. And during the onboarding session, that is when you now have the conversation around, okay, what day and what time will we meet? So based on the conversation that's had there, it now becomes the standard. So if at any point in time you miss a session, you don't need to bother yourself, because the recordings will always be made available to you. And once you're done watching the recordings, you still have questions, you can reach out to your coach, and your coach will definitely attend to your questions. Now, you have the opportunity to reach out to your coach via WhatsApp, because that's one of our communication channels. So you have access to a WhatsApp group chat where you can ask your questions and then get the collective input of your teammates and your coach. But if you're not satisfied with the response that you have gotten, you have access to your coach's DM. You ask them your questions, and if they feel like, okay, the question you're asking them is beyond WhatsApp, if they feel like the question you're asking them requires more demonstration, they will now advise you to kindly book an office hour. During the office hour is them working with your time. They share their calendar with you. You pick a time that's suitable for you, and they will avail themselves. It's on a call like this. So if they need to share their screen, they'll share their screen and walk you through the challenge that you have. Or if you need to share your screen, you share your screen, and they will still walk you through the challenge that you have. Now, the end of every project is marked by a stakeholder. What's going on? The end of every project is marked by a stakeholder presentation. And during the stakeholder presentation, what happens is that you present your deliverables to your coach. And if your coach feels like there are certain corrections that need to be made, they will let you know. If your coach still feels like, okay, you've done exceptionally well, they will give you a pat on the back. They will clap for you, essentially. And the reason why this is important is because part of what you receive from us at Amdari is a portfolio. You have access to a portfolio that you can showcase your skill set on. However, we need to ensure that your portfolio, or whatever it is you're putting on your portfolio, meets up to industry standards. So they need to go through everything and make sure that it meets up to industry standards. And once they have confirmed that your portfolio, or rather that your deliverable is ready to be shared with the world, then you're now expected to showcase it on your portfolio. So let me show you what that portfolio looks like. Let's see. Can you please? So this is what the portfolio looks like, and you can share your portfolio across different platforms. I'm going to show you across different platforms. So this is the introductory part of the portfolio. Like I said, you can share it across X, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, your choice, wherever you want to share it. It's a personalized link. And now And now this is the introductory part of the portfolio. This is the experience, the number of tools, the proficiency, the projects you have worked on. Now, let me just mention from the get-go that if you're on this call and you have never worked with any industry tool, you shouldn't bother yourself, because on Amdari, for every project that you get to work on, you will be taught how to use the tools that are required for that project. And then the number of projects you have completed. If you have no projects that you can make reference to, you also don't need to bother yourself, because we will definitely give you projects to work on from the beginning of your stay with us till the end. You're going to be working on projects and then populating your portfolio with those projects. Now, we now have the About Me section. So with the About Me section, this is where you list out your about. What are you about, right? You're selling yourself to the hiring manager. And then this is the project section, where you're outlining the projects you have worked on, the impact you created, the value you brought to the table. And then my specialization section is where you list out the services that you offer, because you don't offer all the services in the world. So it's important that you list out the services so that people that want to work with you know in what capacity they can work with you. And then my tools section. So for this section, this is where you list out the industry tools that you are proficient in. And like I said earlier, if you don't know how to make use of any industry tool, you don't need to stress yourself. We will teach you how to make use of the tools. Now, this is the skills section where you list out the skills that you are proficient in. And really, this is what the remaining part of the portfolio looks like. So this is the portfolio that we expect you to populate as you go through the program. And also, you also receive a LinkedIn optimization session from us. So your LinkedIn will most definitely rank on the LinkedIn SEO. However, we need you to consistently utilize LinkedIn, because the more you talk about yourself on LinkedIn, the more you expand your network, the more you position yourself as a subject matter expert. And remember, hiring managers will always check you out. They'll always do a background check on you, right? So when they check your LinkedIn, they should not just see, oh, I'm in Bradford University. They should not just see, oh, I'm in Coventry University. They should see the conversations you have had, you did not agree, the debates you have had on LinkedIn. They should see something that really establishes in their mind that, okay, this person knows what they are doing. Now, this is still the portfolio that I have here. So I've already listed that out, or rather I've shown you what the portfolio looks like. Now, sorry. When you join Amdari, you have access to a CV review and revamp, which is quite straightforward. That helps you to pass through the ATS. You also get a LinkedIn optimization session, which I have mentioned. You have access to a remote job board, and let me show you what that remote job board looks like. Now, one of the major stresses associated with applying to a job is even finding the jobs. That's one of the major stresses. Finding the jobs that you need to, okay, why am I not seeing this? Yeah, finding the jobs that you need to apply to is very stressful. And if you're not looking at LinkedIn, there's nothing wrong with LinkedIn, if I'm being fair. The only challenge is that it's too popular. So a job that was posted, say, 2 hours ago, or even 1 hour ago, already has 100 applicants, 200 applicants, 300 applicants. In that setting, the competition is too steep. The stress is too much. And for you to stand out, you have to be extraordinary for you to stand out, right? So as a way to support you, what we have done at Amdari is that we have gone ahead to subscribe to some exclusive platforms. Now, what do I mean by exclusive platforms? There are certain platforms that for you to gain access to the jobs there, you need to pay money. It's a business for them. And these jobs that are on that platform, you will not find them anywhere at all. You won't find them anywhere. They are part of what I call, or what is called, not, I didn't give you the name, or what is called the hidden job markets. It's a fancy little name, but it's a name that, you know, represents what is real, what happens. So what we have done is that we have subscribed to many of these platforms, and then we have now created this central repository where you can apply to jobs on. And I'll also show you how you can easily apply to jobs on this platform. So this is what the job board looks like. Now, aside from that, you're also entitled to a mentorship, the mentorship session and interview preparation session, mind me. So for the interview preparation session, you are, at the end of the day, you realize that, okay, people go for interviews and then you're struggling, you're trying to figure out, okay, how exactly can I stand out? you're just struggling, you're trying to figure out how can I stand. I keep going for interviews and I never get callbacks. I don't understand why I'm not getting callbacks. What is happening? So for us at Amdari, what we do to support you is we have you, we do this interview prep session with you where you are able to make your mistakes in front of us, and then we will give you real-time feedback on the mistakes that you're making. Now, I would love you to hear briefly from Santiago and have a sneak peek, really. What I want you to see is not exactly what he's saying, but a sneak peek to what it's like to be a consultant in Amdari and to go through the interview preparation session. So I'm just going to play this for less than 1 minute.
Improve
So if you can't hear the audio, kindly let me know.
in that sense.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. My final question is: have you used Power Query before?
For query, yes, I have.
Okay. Can you tell me what kind of tool is it? I mean, why do you use Power Query? And can you walk me through a project that you did using Power Query?
So the one that we did had to do with customer churn, and the we had basically two tables, one indicating
So let me pause it here. Please give me a thumbs up if you heard what Darlington said. Give me that thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Okay, thank you, Chiwudike. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Itorobong. So yes, now let me just give you some context. You see these tiles here? These tiles are part of the panel that we've put together to answer. So when you do your interview, these people are listening and they are giving you real-time feedback. Okay, this is what you said. This is how you said it. This is how you can make the adjustments. All this is to ensure that you stand out in the job market. Now, this is the feedback he received from his coach. I'm just going to play this briefly so we can just hear the feedback that he receives from his coach. So let me put this here.
Question, exactly. So you derailed from the question. And when you start talking too much, that's when you get derailed. And also when a question is being asked, if you do not understand it, please feel free to ask the interviewer to repeat his or herself.
yeah.
Okay, nobody is
Okay.
going to sanction you for that. No,
Right.
please, I do not understand. Can you explain? All right, the person will go
Okay,
ahead and
yeah.
explain him or herself. Okay, well, you just go straight to that very question. And also, just as Amina said, right, using the STAR method is very, very important when you're answering a question. Okay, because that will also help you to still be in the line of what you were saying. It was actually the last question that I asked when I said you should give me a scenario-based something, right? That was when you started. You started well along the line. It was as if you're about to. You flew away again. All right, I lost you again. Okay, so
In which part?
try
Sorry.
to.
Okay, so that's the feedback that he got from the session. Now, we also, every Thursday, we invite industry experts to come and speak to you on various subjects around how to negotiate your job salary, how to stand out in the job market, various topics, right? So let's hear briefly from Okwemi how the mentorship session is like. So I don't want to say it because I'm part of Amdari, but let's hear from somebody who was once like you, joined Amdari, and this was her experience during the mentorship session.
You know, the Amdari experience has been so wonderful. And the icing on the cake is the mentorship session. Wow. They will build your confidence, tell you you can actually do it. There is nothing out there that you cannot do. It's been a wonderful time with Amdari. Really.
So that is what I wanted you to hear. Now, aside from the mentorship session, you're also entitled to a job reference letter. Now, for this job reference letter, it's not a one-time thing. Many of the issues that people have in the job market recently is credibility. How do you prove to hiring managers that you have the value you claim to have? How do you stand out in the job market? So a reference letter or a referee is your fighting chance. And I would love us to hear briefly from Tony how our reference letter helped her to land a role. So this is Tony.
Technical tools that I've learned at Amdari using them and all this. So it was pretty good. And then the reference too from your hand was pretty tight because they actually had to mention it that my references were hair tight, that they were actually considering two people, but my references actually nailed it for me.
Amazing. That gladdens my.
Okay, that was Tony's story, right? That was Tony's story. She went through the first stage of the interview, the second stage, the third stage, the fourth stage. And in the last stage, there were just two applicants, two people that they had to choose from. But because of her reference letter, she was able to stand out. Now, like I said, the reference letter with Amdari is not a one-time thing. You can come back 2 years later and say, oh, Amdari, I did a program with you 2 years ago, and I would love a reference letter from you. We will provide that reference letter. You are a part of us, right? We will definitely provide that reference letter. And you see, the beautiful thing about the reference letter that we even give is that it's not a one-time thing, or rather, it's not an isolated thing. We don't give a generic reference letter. When you request for a reference letter from us, what we typically do is we invite you to the table. We try and find out, okay, what opportunity are you applying for? Based on the opportunity you're applying for, how do you want us to sell you? Now, based on what you tell us, all we simply do is represent you in a manner that upholds your story. We don't change anything about you. We don't try to make you seem like who you're not, because when these people do the background check, we want you to come out truthful. We want you to stand out, right? So we work closely with you to ensure that your reference letter is tailored to both your story and the opportunity that you are applying to. Now, you might be wondering, okay, I hear you, but what happens after I am done with the program? Is it that I'm left alone to fend for myself? The answer is no. So when you're done with Amdari, what happens is that you still have on-the-job support, right? You still have on-the-job support. When you finally land that role that we want you to get, you have on-the-job support. You can always reach out to your coach or reach out to Amdari to say, okay, this is the challenge I'm facing at work and I'll really need your assistance. Of course, we expect you to respect the confidentiality of the organization that you are now working with, but we can always show up for you in that advisory manner. We can always show up for you in that manner that helps you to really do well in the opportunity or in the role that you are currently occupying, right? So these are the employability skills that you receive from Amdari. And, you know, I have more success stories to share with you. Of course, we have heard from Tony, so there's no need to play Tony's video. We also have Francis. For Francis, he relocated with his family from Ghana to the UK, and he had it all planned out. Okay, in 3 years, this is where, sorry, in 6 months, this is where I should be. In 1 month, I'm sorry, in 1 year, this is where I should be. In 18 months, this is where I should be. In 2 years, I should be settled, give or take. But things didn't play out that way for Francis. Unfortunately for him, it felt like everything he planned just dashed across the wall. But fortunately for him, he heard about Amdari, took that leap of faith, and whilst he was in the program, he was able to secure himself a job with Deloitte UK. And anybody that knows Deloitte knows that Deloitte is also part of the companies that sponsor immigrants. So you can imagine how excited he was. In fact, he was so excited that he jumped into his coach's DM and shared the good news. He was like, Nwanne. Now, Nwanne means my brother in Igbo, which is a Nigerian dialect. He says, my brother, I just got a call from Deloitte that the interview was successful, starting on body in August. To God be the glory. Good morning, sir. And then his coach says, Nwanne, that is my brother. This has made my week. Congratulations. Oh, now you do pass. Up Amdari, up Mr. Brown. Now, beyond the good news that has been shared, I want you to also pay close attention to how friendly they are with themselves. The friendliness is not exclusive. This is the standard. The coaches that you work with at Amdari are nurturing. The coaches that you work with at Amdari are full-time staffs. The coaches that you work at Amdari have KPIs that are tied to your success. So for us at Amdari, one thing we always say is that the greatest business investment we can make is to ensure that every consultant we work with has the best experience from us, because we understand that if we give you a good experience and you leave our program, if somebody sees you and they ask you what is the secret, you would say, I worked with Amdari. And when you give us that positive review, half of our job is done. They come in, they take part in what we are doing, and then they are able to also get that good experience and step away. So that is why we don't joke with the coaches we bring on ground. These coaches are expensive, but we don't mind. because we know that the return on investment is greater than the sacrifice that has been made by the business. Now, these are still more people who are sharing the good news of the jobs that they have gotten. So you can see more of this success story and even watch the testimonial videos when you fill the attendance form. So please and please, if you haven't filled the attendance form, please do that so that you have access to this recording and you also have access to my slide. Now, if everything I have said in the course of the conversation has sound interesting and you want to join Amdari, our next cohort starts on the 7th of March, which give or take, let me check, should be 2 weeks from now, give or take 7th of March, exactly 2 weeks from now. So if you would want to participate, you are in luck because we are currently running a discount, a 30% discount. So instead of securing your spot for the typical £500, you have the opportunity to secure your spot for £390. And no, there's no hidden charge. Everything that I said we are going to give you at Amdari, you will have access to it for £390. Now, we also understand that maybe you may not be able to pay the whole £390. That's not a problem. You can always secure your spot with as little as £100. We have that installment option made available to you for the next 24 hours. So if you want to secure your spot with the current discount that we are running, then you can do that in the next 24 hours. I'll be sharing the link shortly. I'll be sharing the link shortly to the chat box. Now, we still don't end there because currently we went into partnership with a cloud platform and also with CV Matchly. And what this means is that we still have more resources available to our early birds. Now, what are these resources? So by the virtue of the fact that you joined this session and you enrolled, you have 6 months access to CV Matchly. Now, let me show you what CV Matchly is like. But before I do that, let me share the enrollment link in the chat box. Okay, it has been shared. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It has been shared. So let me show you CV Matchly in full force. I'm coming. And I'm going to use our job platform. Now, I didn't pick any job at all. Like I've not selected any job. So this is me. Let's see. Let me apply for data analytics. Is there business? And let me check for business analysis. So this is how you use the platform. Now I'm just giving you a live demonstration for the people who will enroll and want to have access to the platform. Business analysis. Great. Great. So this is the job I want to apply for. Now share this tab instead. Okay, before I do that, let me share my entire screen so that you can see CV Matchly in full throttle. Stop sharing. I'm going to share my screen. Don't worry. I'm going to share my entire screen. That's why I stopped sharing. Okay, entire screen. Okay. You should be able to see that now. Why are you taking this time? Amazing. Yes. So this is the job role that I am interested in. Now, this is how CV Matchly works. You look at the job description and then you copy the job description. Copy the job description. Where does it stop? Okay, you stop here. You copy the job description. And now, CV Matchly is a Chrome extension, actually. So you come here, when you open it up, I've already shared my CV. But let me stop that so that you can, if I want to upload my CV, you simply upload your CV like this. You come here and then you upload it based on how you save it on your laptop or on any device you're using. And then when you do that, you share it here. Now, the reason why this came out immediately was because my CV was already there and CV Matchly picked up on what I copied. So based on the matching, it turns out that my CV, the one I uploaded, is 48% match, is a 48% match to this job that I want to apply for. So what that simply tells me is that the chances of me getting this job is 0 to none, right? 48% matching, 0 to none. So this is the situation where, oh, but I applied to so many jobs, I never get callbacks, I never get interviews. This is what is happening, right? So for CV Matchly, not only do you know how that is your matching level. You also know your strengths, what keywords matched and what keywords are missing, right? But it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. Now, if you still want to apply to this job, you now have the opportunity to generate an optimized CV. So this is how you do that. So he's optimizing my CV based on my original CV and based on the job requirement. So it's optimizing it in real time. It's coming. Now you download the CV. When you download it, this is what it looks like. You're going to good. This is what it looks like. So I've seen how beautiful this CV looks like. But here's the thing. If you already have a template you're working with, you can just simply copy and paste on the template you already have, and then make that template a PDF so that you can submit it. But if you don't have any template you're working with, you don't mind, you can submit this CV as it is, right? You just submit the CV as it is. So this makes your job really easy, because you know, when you're applying to opportunities, and let's say you decide I want to apply to 10 jobs, 15 jobs, 20 jobs, for those 20 jobs you want to apply to, you have to keep tailoring your CV to those job opportunities. You can't use one CV for all the job opportunities that you're applying to. You shouldn't do that. So with CV Matchly, you see how easy it is. As easy as ABC, in less than 5 minutes, I was able to tailor my job, or rather my CV, to the job description. And now if I want to apply, I can now quickly apply. And you see that I made use of the Amdari job board. So I didn't need to start cracking my head, okay, where do I check for? Do I go on LinkedIn and all that? These jobs they are reviewed every other time, 4 days ago. So you can see that we consistently post on the platform. So you have fresh jobs like fresh water, right? Now, you have 6 months access to CV Matchly. We've also gone into partnership to give you a head start to employability support. So yes, you still get employability support from us at Amdari, no doubt, but this comes 5 months. This comes 5 months into the, sorry, not 5 months, 5 weeks into the program. And it doesn't end there too. With the Head Start, there are certain resources that we have made available to you to really get you prepared for the job application phase. And you know, this is Q1. We are still in Q1. Job openings are all over the place. So it's very important that you start as quickly as possible to start applying to jobs. Now, if peradventure, and I'm sure that many people are thinking about this, if peradventure in the course of you doing your program with us, you're not able to secure a job, one thing is certain: you have that 30-day post-internship job sprint where we work with you to apply to jobs. We are very intentional. Every single day for 30 days, you will be applying to jobs. You would also get the support you need, the interview preparation session. It does not end when your internship ends. For 30 days, we will support you. Last but not least, you have a lifetime access to the portfolio that I showed earlier. Now, do you have the access to this portfolio? Yes. However, for our normal consultants, you only have 6 months access to this portfolio. Only 6 months access. And that is because it's quite expensive to maintain the portfolio. Really, really expensive to maintain the portfolio. Very expensive. So we only give you 6 months, and then we hope that in those 6 months, you're able to secure a role. But now with the partnership that we have gone into, we have cloud spaces, but limited cloud spaces, though. I think about 20 or 25. Let me check. So currently we have, we have 19. Interesting. So we still have 19 slots available. So what that simply means is that if you want to secure your spot, you should do that in the next 24 hours. Now, the next thing I want to show you is this lifetime career support. Now, this is Jerry. Why is he not moving? Yes, this is Jerry. In 2025, Jerry was part of Amdari. He was able to secure a spot. He had a job, and then he was able to secure a spot. However, 1 year later, he relocated from Canada to the UK. Sorry, from the UK to Canada. And when he made that relocation, he now reached out to Amdari 1 year later to say, "Hello, Efemina. I hope you're doing well. I recently moved to Canada about 2 weeks ago, and I have secured a role in the meantime as a data entry specialist with Alberta Blue Cross. For the application, I listed my role at Amdari as a data consultant, and I have now completed the reference section, and I included your detail as a referee. Please let me know if you need any additional information. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. Kind regards, Jerry. As you can see, Jerry is not coming into the DM to say, or into the email to say, please, is it possible for me to get it? Because he knows what he's entitled to, he has come in to tell us the good news and ask for any, if we need any other support, to give him what he needs. So this is what we mean by career support, lifetime career support. And then these are some samples. Why is it not moving? These are some samples of the portfolio that you have access to when you join Amdari. These are the portfolios that you have access to. It's a template. You decide the template you want to go for. And these are also some of the projects that we have worked on, or our consultants have worked on whilst at Amdari, because I'm sure you're curious. You want to find out, so what kind of projects do they work on? These are some of those projects. Like I said, you'd have access to this slide when you fill the attendance list, and then my colleague will send it to you latest tomorrow morning. Yes, latest tomorrow morning. So let me show you how you can secure your spot. Come in, please. I will be taking questions in less than 10 minutes. Let me just show you how you can secure your spots. So with the link that has been shared with you, you'll be brought to, sorry, my screen should be sharing shortly, yes. So with the link that has been shared with you, oh no, I just remember that I'm coming. Where did I click on that? Yes. So with the link that has been shared with you, you'll be brought to this platform. On this platform, you should navigate to internship programs. So when you get to the internship programs, you'll see a part that says apply for internship. So just scroll down, you see apply for internship. So when you click on this, you'll be taken to our internship catalog, where we list out all the programs that we currently offer. So if you're looking for data, can I remove this? If you're looking for data analytics or data science, just look for the program you're interested in. And then when you do that, I think somebody has raised their hands. I'll take questions shortly. I just want to show you how you can secure your spot. When you do that, you click for apply for internship. For the sake of this demonstration, I would be using data science. So just click on apply now. Now, because I already have an account with Amdari, I wouldn't be taken to, why is it not loading? I wouldn't be taken to the platform that you will be taken to, but then I would use this video to walk you through. I wonder why it's taking time. Let's see. It's still taking time. I wonder why it's taking time. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through how to secure your spot using a video. Since this one is, let me do this again. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm going to use this video since I can't walk you through with this. Share this instead. Am I sharing this? Great. Okay, so let me go a bit further. So when you click on that link, like I showed you, that is here. Let me play this. Okay, so that's where we were, right? This was where we were. So when you click on the program that you are interested in, you'll be brought to this platform. And then on this platform, you'll be brought to this page. Let me increase the quality so you can see it very well. On this page, you're expected to create an. Let me see who is raising their hand. Okay, hi, mommy. Sorry, I didn't. Hi, mommy.
Yeah, hi, Christiana. So I was raising my hand. You want me to share my screen while you walk them through it? So I'll just share the payments part while you walk them through it.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, so I'll just share my screen now. So you can just walk them through.
Okay. So if you have any questions, get ready with your questions. In the next 5 minutes, I will be taking your questions. But yeah, thank you to everybody who is still on the call. Thank you, mommy. So yes, so after you create your account with Amdari, because you've been asked to create your account, it's quite a straightforward process. You click on the apply now, and then when you click on apply now, you'll be taken to a page where you're expected to create your account. You put in your details, you receive an email with the OTP. With that email, all you need to do is just impute it. It's really straightforward. And then from there, you'll now be brought to the page that Omomi was showing. Hi, Omomi, please, could you go to the page that I just left? Hi, Omomi, are you there?
Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I had to go back. So let me just go. I'm clicking on apply now.
Thank you. Okay.
Can you see my screen? Because it's showing.
Yeah,
the
I can. I
now.
think. Yeah, I can. Should I just let me just use the video? It's easier.
Okay. All right. So I think your network is
Yeah.
bad because it has another screen on now. So let me just stop sharing.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
can't see that. Well, let me share. Let me see if this is visible. Okay, can you see my screen? Let's confirm that. Okay, it's coming up. I wonder how you can see my screen and I cannot see my screen, but that's fine. So yes, with this video now, you'll be brought.
See your screen, yeah.
Thank you. So with this, when you click on apply now, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all you're required to do is impute your details, your name, your email, your phone number. And once you're done doing this, you'll receive an email requiring you to impute an OTP. So you get the OTP via your email. And then from there, once you fill up the OTP, once you fill out the OTP, you'll be brought to this dashboard. Now, let me pause here. On this dashboard here, you select the cohort you're interested in. So what you would see is either March or April. So depending on when you want to secure your spot or when you want to start, you click on the cohort you'll be interested in starting from. Now, like I said, you have payment options. So the full payment, by the virtue of the fact that you are joining in the next 24 hours, you should see £350 if you want to pay the full option. But if you're going for the installment payment, then you'd have to break your installment across £390. So with the full option, you have a further discount. Now, I'm going for the 3-time option, and then on that 3-time option, you now have this page where you confirm your details. That is all that's required of you. And then from here, you now know, let me pause here, you know your next payment detail. When next are you expected to pay? So usually your payment is supposed to come 1 month after you've made your first, 1 month after you have made your first deposit. So if you make your payment this evening, let me see, today is 21st. So if you make your payment this evening, your next payment should be 21st of March. Now, from there, you also have the opportunity to adjust your payment date. So if you feel like, okay, 21st of March is not when I'm supposed to receive my salary or my stipends or the money you're expecting. You can now extend it by till the last month, to the last date of the month that you are currently in. So if your next payment is 21st of March and you cannot get the money by 21st of March, you have the grace period of securing your spot. Let me see. I think March has 35 days or 31 days. Let me confirm. Yes, so you can secure your spot by the 31st of March, right? Now, when you do that, where is this? I started again. Come in, let me adjust this. So when you do that, it's quite a straightforward process. I'm coming, I just want to adjust this. Let me see if my screen is still, yeah. Okay. So from here now, all you need to do is you just go down and confirm your details. And then you now see the different, let me pause here. You now see the different payment plans. So you know when next your payment is coming. So if you secure a spot this evening, it should be 21st of February. That is your first payment. Your second payment is 21st of March. Your third payment will be 21st of April. That's what you should see. Now, please and please do not remove the promo code. If you remove the promo code, you're going to pay the full 500, not even 350. So just leave that alone. Just click on I've confirmed that my information is correct and I have read the terms and conditions. If you haven't, please read it and then click on it. Once you do that, you'll be taken to a payment platform. And on this platform, you're expected to put in your details. So you put in your details, your card details, and then once you're done, it's quite straightforward. Once you're done, you now click on pay. So your payment will be processed and then you'll be brought to a dashboard. Come in, I'm just speeding up the process for you. You'll be brought to this dashboard. On this dashboard now, this is where you set up your profile. What program did you come in for? What's your skill level? Where do you reside? What's your gender? How did you hear about Rave by Amdari? So if you're securing your spot this evening, or rather, how did you hear about Rave by Amdari? Who told you about Rave by Amdari? Did you hear a friend? Did you see our ad? How did you hear about us essentially? And then you also see what influenced your decision. So for the what influenced your decision part, did somebody speak to you? What really moved you to secure your spot? We would love to know about that, especially if somebody referred you, so that we can just easily contact them to say thank you. Then aside from that, you would also see what session influenced your decision. I know that this is loading up, but you'll see what session influenced your decision. On that point, you just click on info session. Since you are joining the info session this Saturday, you click on info session. Yes, so male, female, then how did you hear about us? What session, info session, that is here. So if you also don't have anything that influenced your decision, you can put nil. It's not compulsory, you must put something. And from here, you put info session. So you'll see clarity session, you'll see Thursday, Saturday session, just put info session, that's Saturday info session. That is what influenced your decision. That's the session that moved you to pay. And once you're done with that, just click on complete setup. So once you complete your setup, you'll be taken to your dashboard. On this dashboard now, I know that, on this dashboard, you have access, immediate access to the job board that I showed you. You have access to the Amdari Learn platform. I know I did not speak about the platform in the course of my presentation, but on this platform, we have put together courses, free courses that you can take advantage of. So you don't need to, start, if you've taken a course in the past and it's been a while and you're thinking that your skills are rustic, you don't need to bother yourself with Amdari. You can take the crash courses and come up to speed. And then if you now go to billing, on the billing section, you see how much you have paid, when next you're supposed to pay, and what is remaining for you to pay. So really, this is how easy it is to secure your spots with Amdari. So thank you everybody for your patience and your time. I see we still have 54 people on the call. Thank you so much. At this point, I would love to take your questions. So you can raise your hand if you have questions. If you can't speak, you can also drop your comment in the can drop your comment in the chat box. Let me see. Okay. Questions, clarification. I'm happy to take them now. Let me see. Is anybody dropping their questions? Hello, people. Am I audible? Please give me a thumbs up if I'm audible. Okay, at least I can confirm that. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yes, questions. Hello, people. Let me see. If you can't speak, you can drop it in the comment section. You can drop it in the comment section. Let me see. Is anybody dropping questions there? Are we trying to say that for the entire, I think it's 2 hours now. Is it 2 hours? Yes, almost 2 hours. Everything I've said is understood, or I've really, that would be very impressive if that's the case. That would be very impressive. I should give myself an award for that. Or is it that we are shy? Okay. Okay, let me see, Thelma, your question. Let me answer your question. Okay. Can you take the course from outside UK, US, and Canada? Yes, you can. The internship, yes, you can. It's completely virtual. So you can. That's to Thelma. You can. You can take your course. Please give me a thumbs up if you got that. And then to Amici, you said, but for someone who is in Nigeria, is it possible to still secure a job remotely, not minding my location? Yes, it's possible. I mean, people are getting jobs remotely in Nigeria and every part of the world. That's why it's remote work. So yes, it's more than possible. It's more than possible, Amici. Please give me a thumbs up if you got that. Also, to Thelma, please give me a thumbs up if you got that. Let me confirm that you got it. Okay, Thelma. Okay. So to Oluwayemi Bakari, you said, if I need to join April cohort, do I still have the chance of the discount? Yes, you do. If you can secure your spots in the next 24 hours, you can secure your spots for April. You mustn't start with the March batch. That's to Thelma. After this upcoming session, when will be the next intake again? To Dawn, the next intake will be April. So if you want to secure your spot for April, you have the opportunity to do that with the discount we are currently running, right? So yes, so Oluwayemi and Dawn, please give me a thumbs up if you got that. Okay, so Stella, you said the payment installment, is it splitted for 2 or 3 times? So for Stella, you can pay 2 times. You can also pay 3 times. If you want to also pay the full payment, you can also pay the full payment. In fact, going for the full-time option gives you a further discount. So if you want to go for the full-time payment, there's an option for that. So yes, what's the internship all about? That's to Divine. So the internship, okay, so the internship is, I'm sorry, the internship is you come in, you are simply getting that hands-on experience that that you need to back up your theoretical knowledge. So we have internships that cut across data analytics, data science, data engineering, project management, business analysis, cybersecurity that split across GRC, ethical hacking, SOC, and abstract cloud security and product design. So Divine, did I answer that question? If I didn't really answer what you had in mind, kindly unmute yourself. Let's talk. So yes. Okay, so Ike Dashi, okay. Okay. Hey, is the internship about just what is listed on your website or feels like construction and engineering? Unfortunately, it's just what we listed on our website. We don't offer construction or engineering internship. That is to Caleb. I can see your question. And then Divine, I'm interested in cybersecurity. Amazing. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, Divine, kindly secure your spot using the payment link. Let me share it again. It's been shared multiple times, but let me share it again. So to those who are typing, if you want to speak, you can actually unmute yourself and speak. Really, it's not compulsory that you must you must type. If you can speak, please, I would love to hear your voices. So I've put the link to the payment link. Okay. So to Charles, you said, if I'm not ready to start now, what should I do? If you're not ready to start with the next cohort, that is the March, you can secure your spot for the April cohort. That's what you can do. So to Boateng, you said you're asking, after April, when is the next cohort? The next cohort will be May after April. Next cohort. But unfortunately, you can't secure your spot for May with the current discount we are running. So the current discount only covers March and April cohorts. So if you're going for May, you can't secure your spot with that discount. So yeah, that is to Boateng. Then please, so Charles, please give me a thumbs up if you got my response, but then give me a thumbs up if you got my response. And then whilst you're doing that, hi Enoma, how are you doing?
Hey Christiana, good evening. I'm doing great, thank you. So I'm asking for a friend, do you do internship for accounting?
Unfortunately, we don't.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So hi Boateng and Charles, I've not seen your thumbs up. Are you not on the call? I want to be sure that you got my responses. Okay, thank you, Charles. Thank you. Charles, you want to overwhelm me with thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So Divine, please, did you see the payment link I shared? And then Caleb, please give me a thumbs up if you got my response. I responded to the fact that we don't do an internship in construction and engineering. Okay, thank you, Caleb. Thank you, Caleb. And then, yeah. So hi Stella. So when will you be securing your spots? So the cybersecurity is now online. Is it online internship? Yes, it is. That's to Divine. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. If you're on the call and you have questions, please ask your questions. If you can speak, please raise your hand and speak. I will be happy to take your questions. I will be happy to take your questions. Hi, people. Are we trying to say we don't have questions? I mean, we have 40 people on the call. If I stop sharing my screen, hi, Thelma, please, by all means, ask your question.
Hi, Christiana. My question is, I was wondering if the internship is customizable. Say you have a limited time to devote to the internship. Do you have to do all the 4 months, or is it customizable to say, okay, you're going to do it in 2 months, or say you start doing the internship and then you land the job in 2 months?
Okay.
Like,
okay. Please don't mute yourself. I want to ask you a question. The reason why you're asking if it's customizable, is it because you're trying to find out if you can finish quickly and start applying to jobs?
No, it's because I have limited time.
Okay, so it's you can't customize it. However, once you're done with your first project, and I understand your limited time statement, that is you need to start applying jobs as quickly as possible. But once you're done with your first project, you can start applying to opportunities. You're ready, and you are also entitled to the different supports that we give. That is the LinkedIn, the CV, the interview prep session. You get that. So you don't need to wait till you are done with internship to start applying to opportunities. But to answer your question around, is it customizable? No, it's not. Did you get that?
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Hi, Thomas. Do you have any other question?
Oh, sorry, no, I thought you were speaking to someone else. No,
No, it's you.